and here is my sweet cream or sweet corn casserole. I got 14 little circles out of this. Oh my gosh, that's 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And here we are. I didn't think it was gonna pop out that easily. I gotta get to chopping those onions. And you know what I forgot on my plate? A piece of sausage. Putting this on top. And oh my gosh, these are delicious. Isn't that cute? And there, that's the finished one. I wish I had videotaped in there. Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making gorditas de azucar, that is sugar gorditas. Gorditas are like a flour tortilla, but they're smaller and they're thicker and they are sweet. My mom used to make these for us and my grandmother used to make these for us. I remember going to my grandmother's ranch and she would be out there making them over a big old fire with a big old skillet on top or a comal, and she would make these gorditas as a treat in the afternoon with some coffee, with some leche in our coffee, which is milk in our coffee. And I remember enjoying this as a kid. My mom still does make them, and they're still a wonderful treat. You walk into her home and there she's got some gorditas. What better treat than to have that for your family or your friends? How about treating those friends who don't know what a gordita is? Hey, here's something. It's not a very big thing. It's not like a muffin. It's not a big, thick, heavy item. It's a small, thin. Well, it's a thick tortilla, but it's a thing compared to a muffin or a scones or anything like that, which are awesome and lovely in their own way. But this is just something different that maybe you want to try making and surprising your friends if you want to have them over for tea time, because you can enjoy them with coffee, or you can enjoy them with tea. You can spread butter on them, you can spread jam on them, your favorite preserves, or you could even spread maybe some Nutella on them. All right, so I'm going to have this recipe in the description box below, but I'm going to go ahead and go over the ingredients and the amounts that you will need of each ingredient right now, and then we're just going to get them together and start making these. All right, so what you're going to need is you're going to need some all-purpose flour, and I've got some AP flour right here, AP for all-purpose, and you're going to need 2 cups of that flour. You're going to need 1/2 cup of unsalted butter or margarine, or you can use shortening, and this has to be at room temperature. Mine is already softened to room temperature. I've had it here for a couple of hours. And again, it is 1/2 cup, so that's 1 stick or 8 tablespoons. And then you'll also need 1/2 cup of milk. So I've got my milk here. I'm using whole milk. You can use like a 2% milk, but I wouldn't use a low fat, or rather I wouldn't use like a no fat, because that's a little bit too watery, and you really want some good whole milk in there. You're going to need 1 egg, and you're going to need to just lightly whisk it. And then you're going to need a teaspoon of a baking powder, which I have right here. And you're also going to need a teaspoon of some salt. And that's just some regular salt, whatever salt that you like to use. I wouldn't use like a rock salt or anything like that, just table salt. Okay, so all these ingredients are going to go into a bowl. And I've got an electric skillet ready to go where I'm going to make my gorditas on, but you might want to make them on a comal or maybe on a griddle or even a cast iron type of pan if you want to use that. But I'm going to be using my electric skillet so that I can do it here on the countertop and you can see me doing it. All right, I've got a large bowl here so that you can see what I'm going to be doing inside of it. I got a clear bowl. So I've got 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to go ahead and add 1/2 cup of sugar. And this is going to be all my dry ingredients that I'm going to combine first. And we need a teaspoon of baking powder. And we need a teaspoon of salt. There we go. I'm just going to mix those together. Okay. So all my dry ingredients are well blended. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my butter or margarine or shortening, and that's 1/2 cup. So that's a whole stick, 8 tablespoons here, into my dry ingredients. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break this up, and I'm going to work it with my hands. So you got to get your hands in there. It's okay because I'll just cut off all this. Okay, so I've crumbled up my butter in there, as you can see. It is now mixed into the dry ingredients. The next thing I want to do is add my wet ingredients, which is my milk and the egg. So I'm going to add half a cup of milk, not a little bit. And this one I'm going to use a spoon to mix it in, but I am going to continue with my hands in a little bit. So first, mix in the milk. And it's almost forming a dough already, actually. Let's add in the rest of it. Okay, to this we want to add a slightly whisked egg. But I want you to see that it's already forming a dough there. Let's go ahead and crack an egg into this. And just slightly whisk it. Just get it all blended, the egg yolk and the whites. And get that into your dough. And we're going to continue mixing. And I'm going to go ahead and stick my hand in there. Work it. Now, if you feel that your dough is a little too wet, you can add a little bit of flour to it. If it feels like it's just too dry, then go ahead and add a little bit of milk. And I feel like mine's a little too wet, so I'm going to add a little bit of flour in there. Just going to grab some like that, sprinkle it in there. I'm not baking, but when you're working with flour, you just get it everywhere. Okay, let's add a little bit more. I feel like it's still a little too wet. There we go. And we want to form a nice dough. As you can see, there you go. Okay, the next thing we want to do with our dough is we want to form some balls. So we're going to form about 10 or 12 little balls, maybe about a 1-inch diameter out of these balls. I'm just going to add a little bit of flour into my hand so I can help break all this off because it's really sticky. But that's the best way to do it, is just to get your hands in there. Okay, so I'm going to form some balls with this, and I'm going to lay it on a pan, and I'm going to get ready to flatten them out into the little gordita shape that I want, and then we'll get them on the skillet. All right, I've worked my dough into this nice ball here. It's still kind of sticky, so I put some flour all the way around it. So the next thing I want to do is I want to squeeze out some balls, ball-shaped pieces of dough like that, about 1 inch. Make them into a little ball, put them to the side, grab another, roll it, put it to the side, and just keep doing that until you've made 10 or 12. We'll just see how many of these you can get. Try to make them all about the same size. Mine are not coming out about the same size. You can always just take a little bit off of each one until you've got them about the same size. A little bit of flour in my hands. Grab another off like that. That forms a nice little ball when you squeeze it that way. So let me get that close to you. And if you just put your fingers around it and squeeze, you got a little ball there. Just keep doing that. So this is something that really takes practice before you get them done right. But either way, whether they come out nice and round or all the same size, what matters really is that they're going to be a nice, warm treat that you've made, and it's really nice and delicious. So if it's something that you want to have like in a little fancy tea party, then maybe you want to practice like I'm doing now, because I'm actually practicing. I don't make these on the regular, but I decided to do so that I can make this video, and of course so that I could have some nice little treats. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, I got 17 little balls out of this, which is pretty good. This one's kind of small. So I'm just stealing from some of the other ones to add to it. That's basically what I'm doing. So I've got these. So now I want to flatten them up. So I'm going to take you can use a tortilla press to press them down if you want. I have this little gadget that my mom got me. It's a gordita press. And this is really like for the ones that you make out of corn tortilla, and then you can slice them and put stuff inside of them. But I'm going to try using this, see if this works for these, because I have not used this at all. And it'd be a great little opportunity here to try using it. Okay, so I've got my gordita press here. I've got some plastic at the bottom, and I've got some plastic on the lid part, and I'm going to attempt to try this. Now this doesn't work. Oops, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and use my original idea, or I could always use my little rolling pin. There's different ways, or you could just pat them flat with your hand if you want to spend the time. So I'm going to take one of these little balls, put it right in the middle, just flatten it a little bit with my fingers, plastic down, and then press. It's like a regular tortilla press, which is really nice. Now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, it did press it. It didn't press it all the way the size that I wanted, but this is what I got. And this is really nice. So maybe my balls need to be a little bit bigger, but that's okay. I'm going to press them just down a little bit more with my fingers because I feel like I want it a little bit wider. So that's basically it. As you can see, it's going to be about a 4-inch diameter tortilla, if you're wondering what size to make these. Let me put another one in there because that actually worked pretty good. All right, let's do that. Oh, even nicer. These are really nice, and they're a nice little bite size. You could make these a lot bigger, of course, but these are nice little bite-sized pieces, especially nice for a tea or a coffee in the afternoon with your lady or your man friends, whatever. These are nice, or even nice for the kids, just to put a little bit of nutella or jam and just give them a little treat. It's a nice little piece. You don't have to give them anything big. Let's try using the other method where I'm going to use my cutting board. And then I've got a smaller cutting board, but of course I could use two of the same size. Now they don't have to be wood, they can be a plastic or a glass or whatever you happen to have. I happen to have these, so that's what I'm going to use, and I've wrapped this one completely all the way around. And I just laid some on here in case I have to lift it to help me lift the tortilla off of it. So here we go. I'm going to put it right on there. I'm just going to put the board and just press down on it with my hands. And let's see what I got. Ooh, I got a nice one. Look at that. And see, this is what I meant by lifting it, because I might have to lift it off to get it to slide into my hand. And that's nice. It's not perfectly round. It's kind of ovally, but it works really great. I like that method. The other method would be to use my rolling pin. And of course, I'd have to put some flour on it, so let me grab that. Okay, and you can just roll it out, lift it, and turn it. I kind of like this, but what I would do is this plastic wrap that I have on my board, I would wrap it all the way around so it doesn't move around on me, or just use the board itself. Just put lots of flour on there where you can roll it out. And you don't have to do this. But there you go. Just gently rolled out. You don't want to make it too thin. And just like that. And I've got a little tortilla right here. Or actually a little gordita. Okay, the method that I liked, and I like both using the tortilla press or gordita press such as this, or using a board to flatten it down with. And I kind of like that method better than actually rolling it out. So for those of you who can't find this, no big deal, because this works just fine. You could take them in your hand, flour up your hand, and then just kind of twist them and pat them and twist them and pat them. Of course, then you end up with an oval. Or you could just stretch it to get it into a little circle, kind of like a little pizza dough. And there you go. You got yourself a little circle. You could certainly work them with your hand. So there's several ways to do this. I've got my pan hot and I can smell it, and this thing is smoking, and I don't know if things are going to explode on me or not. Let's turn this off for a little bit. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some butter in my pan, or your comal or skillet or whatever it is that you're using. Get this a little closer so you can see that. Move that butter around. You could use a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of shortening, or whatever you happen to have. Some corn oil is fine. And we're gonna put these on there. We don't want it to be too hot. This is really hot right now, so I'm just gonna lower it. Put one in there. And then I'm going to put the second one in there. The way that I've done them is I've just flattened them out with my hands or with the tortilla press, and I've done them on the griddle, on the stove. This is the first time that I try it this way, so we're going to see how this works. And if all else falls, I'll have to put them on a skillet on my stove, but I think this is going to be fine. We're going to cook them 2 minutes on one side. We're going to be checking them, make sure they're not burning, because my skillet did get kind of hot. And then we're going to turn them around and do it another couple of minutes. So my skillet is kind of hot, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of look at the other side. Ooh, that's pretty. It's getting pretty. It's like a little pancake. That's what it kind of looks like, in case you're wondering. Let me pull it out so you can see how it got toasted on that one side. Okay. So we're going to let that continue. Let's put another one in there. And then the other one that I already had ready also. I'm going to toast these up first. Now when I make gorditas out of corn, so I make corn tortilla gorditas, I use my spatula and I go around the edges, kind of pushing, so that I can kind of form my little circle, and also so that you can see the edges are nice and thick. And then I level as I go, and I kind of do that when I'm doing, so that's what I'm going to try doing with this here, is what I'm doing right now. Let them cook another minute, and we'll be right back. All right, so these are the last 4 that I'm pulling out of the electric skillet here and putting them on my plate. There you go. These are your gorditas de azucar, sugar gorditas, and they're hot, they're fluffy, they're crispy on the outside, a little bit toasty on some of these, but they're still wonderful. I have to admit, I made 17, but I've only got 16 here because I ate one already. I wanted to make sure that they did taste good, and they certainly did. So let's open one up so you can see. Here we go. And you can see the inside is like a little bready. The outside is crispy. Delicious. And I've already got my tea here. Look at my little owl cup. I've got my little chai latte here to enjoy with my gordita. And it's just got the right amount of sugar, so it's nice and sweet. You could put some butter on that, maybe sprinkle a little bit more sugar if you like. Like I said, you could use some Nutella, or maybe some of your favorite jams, even some little bit of peanut butter if you wanted. Use your favorite spread on these. These are wonderful. I hope you enjoy this recipe, and I hope that you will try them and that you will also enjoy them. It's not hard to make them, it just takes time to make them. You can make them a little bit bigger so that when you're cooking them, you don't have to wait for so many little ones to do like I did. But I like them little because one is enough, and I'll save the rest for my husband, my son, and a couple for my mom and my dad. There you go. Please give me a thumbs up, leave a nice comment below, subscribe, and as always, enjoy.